Have you ever heard of a culture where people whisper blessings into their pillows, so that even their dreams carry prayers? They believe that what touches your body in sleep also touches your spirit, and what surrounds you in that sacred space matters more than most people realize. Do you wake up more tired than when you fell asleep? Have you ever sat in a perfectly clean bedroom, yet felt like the air still carried yesterday's heaviness? Have you tried decluttering, but the energy still won't move? In Feng Shui, the bedroom isn't just a place to rest. It's where your breath slows, your qi resets, and your heart gently meets itself again. But here's where things get interesting. Some believe a few small changes, like a warm light or a plant, can transform your entire well-being. Others think it's just aesthetic, a vibe. They say, and you know what? Both are partly true, because not everything beautiful has energy, but everything with energy becomes beautiful in time. Before we go further, share this in the comments. What's one object in your bedroom you truly believe holds healing energy? Your insight might be exactly what another woman needs to hear tonight. Maybe it's a soft amber lamp you light each evening. Maybe it's a pillow you've carried through grief and recovery. Maybe it's something you've overlooked until now. Each item I'll share today was chosen not for appearance, but for how it speaks to your breath, your body, your spirit. Let's begin this gentle shift together. They say you don't notice the air until it's heavy. I was in my 60s when I realized something in my bedroom made it harder to breathe. Not the air itself, no, but the energy. The kind that settles when grief lingers too long, when silence stops being peaceful, and starts to feel stuck. She had tried many things. Rearranged the furniture, burned incense, slept with the window open. But it wasn't until she brought home a single peace lily that the shift began. It was a small one, just enough to fit inside a ceramic pot with soft jade crackle glaze. She placed it on a low wooden chest near the southeast corner, the wealth direction. In classical Feng Shui, "I wasn't looking for money," she said. "I just wanted to sleep through the night, and wake up without feeling so emotionally drained." Peace lily is a plant of quiet resilience. Its leaves are neither showy nor dull, they seem to exhale calmness. And in Feng Shui, it carries the Mach energy, wood, alive, gentle, always growing, but when placed in water, as many do with its roots slightly moist, it also gathers the Tui, water, the element of flow, reflection, and emotion. In that quiet corner, something changed. The nights were no longer broken by shallow sleep. The mornings, just a little lighter. The air? It still held memory, but the kind that moved, not the kind that clung. I started noticing the way the leaves tilted toward the morning sun. I watered it every third day, wiped its leaves once a week, and in return, it softened something inside me. There was a night I couldn't sleep. Chest felt tight, as if the day hadn't let go of me yet. I sat up, eyes adjusting to the dark, and saw the lily, glowing under the moonlight through the blinds. I walked over, touched one of its leaves, soft, cool. I whispered, "Are you still awake too?" Of course, it didn't answer, but somehow, I felt heard. But here's where many go wrong. They try to copy the placement, but forget the principle. Peace lily works because it lives. It breathes. It purifies not just air, but presence. Dead flowers, dried arrangements, even beautiful fake ones, they do not pulse with life. In Feng Shui, lifeless wood is not Mach. It is yin without movement. And too much yin in a bedroom? That invites fatigue, confusion, emotional weight. 3 common mistakes that Mrs. Lee warns against. First, placing dried flowers. They may look artistic, but their energy is flat. No growth, no breath. Second, using fake plants. Yes, they're convenient, but convenience does not cultivate qi. It interrupts it. Third, wrong placement. A peace lily near the headboard? Too close to your sleeping energy. You may feel drained without knowing why, or placing it by a west-facing window with harsh afternoon sun. It will wither and in its stress, reflect back agitation. Instead, honor the plant. Choose a spot that's bright but gentle. East, for family healing. Southeast, for quiet abundance. And place it at least 1 meter from your bed, on a surface that is stable and wood-toned. No mirrors, no electronics, no clutter. Let the lily stand as it is, a being of still life. Not decoration. I used to think the room needed more color, more art, more light, but sometimes healing begins with subtraction, not addition. She started noticing things, noticing how she breathed, noticing when she clenched her jaw, noticing how just sitting near the lily made her want to pause and exhale. Over time, her sleep deepened, dreams became calmer, and strangely, she found herself worrying less about money. Not because anything magical happened, but because she stopped gripping everything so tight. Peace lily doesn't bring instant prosperity. It doesn't sparkle or shout. It simply stays, and in a world of noise, what a blessing it is to sleep near something that teaches you how to be quiet again. These days, I wake up before the alarm. I sit up slowly. I look at the lily by the window. It's not blooming yet, not today. But it's alive, and so am I. Amethyst, the quiet guardian of the sleeping spirit. Some nights, it's not the body that's tired. It's the spirit that won't stop turning. There were nights when I lay still, lights off, eyes closed, but inside, everything was wide awake, thoughts running in circles, memories knocking, regrets whispering things I thought I'd forgotten. That was the year after her son moved away. Her daughter got married, and the house, though clean, warm, and quiet, felt too full of echoes. Mrs. Lee wasn't unfamiliar with silence. But this kind didn't heal. It scratched. Until one day, during a visit to the local temple market, she saw a small amethyst cluster. Deep violet, imperfect, softly glowing in the morning sun. She didn't touch it at first. She just stood there, looking, and in that quiet moment, something inside her said, "Bring it home." Amethyst, in Feng Shui, is the crystal of inner peace. Of though energy, earth, the element that holds space, absorbs worry, and returns us to center. It doesn't push things out. It grounds them, softly. That night, she placed the crystal on her bedside table. Not too close, not for show, just there, under a soft lamp, beside her reading glasses and a small cup of warm tea. I didn't expect magic, but I did sleep, and when I woke, my chest felt lighter, my dreams not bright, but calm, like floating through a deep violet mist. Over time, she learned that amethyst absorbs static, not just in the air, but in the mind. It protects the sleeping spirit from overthinking, unfinished conversations, energetic noise, and in Feng Shui, when placed in the bedroom, it acts as a gentle guardian of the Shen, the soul. But, as always, the energy depends on the how. Common mistakes? Putting the crystal too close to the pillow. Large geodes overpowering the space. Using raw, sharp amethyst in a chaotic setting. What works? A small, smooth amethyst cluster, set in a wooden or ceramic dish. Placed on the nightstand, not under the bed. Ideally in the northeast or center of the bedroom, places of earth energy in the Bagua map. One evening, after a long day helping her neighbor through hospital paperwork, Mrs. Lee came home feeling scattered. Her tea turned cold, dinner untouched. She sat on the bed, looking at the crystal. It caught the lamp's soft light, and for a moment, it glowed, not brightly, but with presence. She reached for it, held it gently in her hand. And she whispered, "Today was heavy, but I made it through. Help me let it go." Did the crystal answer? No, but somehow, the tension in her shoulders softened. Her heart stopped racing, and for the first time that week, she slept without dreams. Amethyst doesn't block emotion. It doesn't erase memory. But it holds the weight so your body doesn't have to. It gathers your scattered energy and lays it beside you like a warm, woven blanket. I used to think healing had to be loud, like music, or prayers, or incense. Now I know, sometimes healing is violet and quiet, and fits in the palm of your hand. Feng Shui night lamp, the gentle keeper of restful qi. Long before sleep begins, there's a moment the body remembers how safe it feels to rest. I used to think I couldn't sleep because I had too much on my mind. But it wasn't just the thoughts. It was the light, or the lack of it. Her bedroom used to sit in darkness. No lamp, just the hard overhead light, cold, sharp, or nothing at all. And somehow, both extremes made her restless. Until she introduced one small shift. A Feng Shui night lamp, warm, soft, amber-hued, nothing fancy, but everything changed. In Feng Shui, light is qi. Where light is soft and present, energy flows with grace. Where light is harsh, or absent, the qi becomes startled or stuck. Especially at night, in a room meant for surrender. Lighting should not command attention. It should gently hold the space, like a steady breath in the dark. The purpose of a night lamp is not just visibility, but energetic transition, from wakefulness to rest, from doing to being. A warm yellow or golden tone is ideal. Avoid blue-white light, it awakens the brain. Avoid blinking LEDs, or motion-triggered sensors, they confuse your circadian rhythm. I began turning on the lamp 30 minutes before bed. Just that one small glow. And my whole body understood, it was time to come back. To soften. In 5-element theory, this kind of warm light embodies both Wa, fire, and Tho, earth. Fire for transition, letting go, and emotional warmth. Earth for grounding, returning, restoring inner stability. The right night lamp anchors your energy. It holds the room together like a hearth, subtle, ancient, deeply human. Some tips? Place it on your right-hand side of the bed, yang side. Unless your energy is overly anxious, then use the left, yin side. Let the lamp base be natural material, ceramic, wood, or stone. Avoid reflective metal or harsh acrylic. Keep it low to mid-height, not towering. Let it glow across your lower visual field, like a candle beside your breath. Never sleep in total darkness if your energy tends to wander, or if your spirit feels fragile. But never sleep with harsh light either. A night lamp is not a compromise, it is a sacred gesture. It tells your nervous system, I am not in danger. I am not in motion. I am allowed to let go. I used to count the hours I was awake. Now, I don't even remember falling asleep. Because true rest doesn't begin with the eyes. It begins with how the energy of the room welcomes you. A night lamp may be small, but in the language of Feng Shui, it says everything. You are home. You are safe. You are allowed to dream now. Pillowcase in elemental colors, the soft altar beneath your dreams. The head does not rest on the bed. It rests on intention. I used to change my bed sheets every week. Washed, pressed, lavender scented, but somehow, I still woke up tired. Not just physically, but emotionally scattered. It wasn't the mattress, or the blanket, it was the pillow. Because in Feng Shui, your pillow is not just fabric and fluff. It's the first surface that receives your thoughts when you fall asleep. And the last thing that touches your energy before you rise. Most people overlook this. They focus on decor, lighting, layout, but forget that the head is where spirit settles. And what surrounds the head shapes the dream. That's why Mrs. Lee made one small, deeply intentional change. She chose a new pillow cover, not just for comfort, but for energy alignment. Natural fabric, no polyester, no synthetic blends, silk, or pure cotton, in a color aligned with her inner needs. For her, it was soft lavender gray, a blend of fire and metal energy to calm an overactive mind. That first night, it felt like my head was finally being held. Not by feathers, but by something that understood where I was tired. Not just the muscles, but the memories. She began choosing her pillow color the way one might choose tea. Not for appearance, but for healing. Here are a few intentional color energies. Green square green, wood, for health, renewal, and nervous system support. White circle white or ivory, metal, for clarity, stillness, and lightness of thought. Purple circle soft lavender or violet, fire, for emotional strength and vivid dreams. Brown circle beige or tan, earth, for grounding and calm focus. Red circle pale rose, fire-earth blend, for emotional softness and self-kindness. The change wasn't only about color. It was about presence. Each evening, she smoothed the pillow with her hand, slowly. Not as a chore, but as a ritual. I began whispering a blessing to it. Just a sentence, a hope. Tonight, may I sleep without holding anything heavy. Or, let my dreams remind me I am not alone. One evening, after receiving difficult news about a close friend's illness, she lay down, chest heavy, eyes aching. She didn't speak. She didn't cry. She just held the pillow close, face against the soft cotton, warm from her breath, and she said softly, "Carry it for me tonight, just until I can again." She fell asleep within minutes, and when she woke up, it was still dark, but something in her felt lighter, like the grief had been held, not erased, but held. This is what a well-chosen pillow can do. Not magically solve what hurts, but offer your spirit a clean, gentle place to rest. In Feng Shui, the pillow represents the gateway between consciousness and renewal. It supports the heart-mind, the Shen, and holds subtle influence over mental clarity, emotional digestion, sleep quality, morning energy. Avoid clashing colors or intense black-red combinations. Avoid flattened, neglected, or synthetic pillowcases. They block energy and retain tension. Instead, treat your pillow like a soft altar. Choose its color with care, its fabric with kindness, and its placement with presence. It's just a pillow, some people say, but to me, it's a small soft place where healing begins. The first touch of peace before the dreams arrive. Tonight, before sleep, try this. Run your hand across your pillow. Feel its weight, its texture, its welcome. Then ask yourself, does this hold space for my spirit? Or just my head? If it doesn't, let it go. And invite in a new softness. Crane statue, the quiet guardian of wisdom and subtle fortune. Some symbols don't shout wealth. They don't glitter or call attention. They simply stand still and stay. The crane is one of them. Graceful, tall, unmoving, it does not beg for energy. It balances it. In Feng Shui, the crane is a living metaphor for noble wisdom, longevity, and inner calm. It represents the kind of prosperity that doesn't rush in, but gathers quietly over time. I didn't choose the crane. It found me. She discovered it in a small antique shop, tucked in the back, standing tall among forgotten brass bowls and faded scrolls. Its neck was long, slightly tilted, the wings folded in, and its gaze, carved into fine porcelain, looked neither proud nor pleading. Just present. She placed it on a high shelf in the study corner of her bedroom, facing gently inward, toward her writing desk and meditation cushion. And that's when she noticed it. A shift in the space. It wasn't dramatic, but the room began to feel quieter. Not empty, just anchored. The thoughts that used to scatter before bed, to-do lists, news, distant worries, began to thin out, like mist lifting over a calm lake. In Feng Shui placement, a crane should be placed above eye level to represent rising insight. It should face into the room, not out toward the door. Best in areas where reflection, writing, study, or deep rest takes place. Crane energy belongs to the metal element, offering focus, dignity, structure, but it is also linked with water, stillness, spiritual depth, and flow beneath silence. Together, these elements stabilize qi, especially in people who work with the mind or spirit. Teachers, writers, healers, monks, strategists. There was one night, I remember it so clearly. I was struggling to make a difficult decision. I sat on the edge of my bed, heart restless, mind noisy, and I looked at the crane. It didn't speak, didn't tell me what to do, but something about its stillness slowed me down. She sat in silence for 15 minutes. No phone, no pen, no music, and then the clarity came. Not loud, but sure. That is how crane energy works. It doesn't fix your life. It protects your discernment. In metaphysics, we say cranes carry spiritual air, a type of qi that doesn't excite, but aligns. It's especially vital for protecting intellectual energy and holding financial focus without stress. This makes the crane statue ideal for those building long-term wealth through wisdom. Entrepreneurs, educators, therapists, planners, anyone walking a path of thoughtful abundance. Tips for placement. Avoid placing cranes near toilets, trash bins, or the floor. Clean the statue regularly with a soft cloth. Let it sit near a light source, not too bright, but constant. Use pairs of cranes only if representing partnerships or legacy. I don't talk to it. I don't ask it for things. But I often thank it, just silently, for reminding me that wealth built on clarity doesn't need to be rushed. Tonight, before sleep, look at the quietest corner of your room. Ask yourself, do I have a symbol that holds wisdom for me, even when I forget my own? If not, let the crane arrive, and let its stillness become your center. Herbal Sache, the scent that stirs still fortune. Sometimes, it's not what you see in a room, but what you sense. The air can be clean, but not alive. The space can be calm, yet feel empty. Because qi doesn't only respond to form. It follows scent. It was during a long winter that I first began placing herbs under my pillow. The room felt fine, neat, warm, but the energy didn't move. It was like the space had forgotten how to breathe. One day, her neighbor, an elderly herbalist, handed her a small, hand-stitched sachet. No label, no perfume, just the warm, grounded scent of bay leaf, cinnamon, and licorice root. Place this where your dreams begin, the woman said. So Mrs. Lee slipped it gently under the corner of her pillow. That night, her breath softened, her chest opened, and for the first time in weeks, she dreamt of green hills and golden light. In Feng Shui, herbal sachets are more than tradition. They are living vessels of elemental qi, crafted with intention. Each herb carries a vibration. Bay leaf, laurel, for dignity. Talent, earned abundance. Cinnamon, star anise, clove, fire-aligned herbs that stimulate movement, prosperity, and emotional warmth. Licorice root, harmonizer, balancing the flow between giving and receiving. Together, they create not just aroma but direction. A soft, invisible wind that stirs both the senses and the stagnant. Some scents jolt you. This one didn't. It was like an old song that I hadn't heard in years, but knew every note of. Placement matters. The sachet should never sit in direct sunlight or near electronics. Place it under the edge of your pillow, inside your pillowcase near the heartline, or at the headboard corner, close to where breath first meets sleep. Replace the herbs every 2 to 3 months, not because they expire, but because qi refreshes through renewal. This is not a substitute for incense, nor a decorative pouch. A true Feng Shui herbal sachet is a quiet frequency keeper, balancing your field while you rest, and gently nudging your inner compass toward harmony and flow. I never imagined a handful of dried herbs could shift my energy. But now, if I forget to place it, my body notices before my mind does. From a metaphysical view, wood element herbs provide upward movement, growth, vitality, Fire element herbs ignite awareness, stimulate circulation, in breath, in emotion, and in prosperity flow, and together, they form a gentle channel of abundance that doesn't knock loudly, but flows in, stays, and quietly blesses the space it's welcomed into. Each time you inhale the scent, you're not just smelling an herb. You're inviting in life force, tuned to your calm. So tonight, before bed, hold the sachet close to your chest. Breathe in once, slowly, then ask, where in my life am I ready to let abundance come gently? Place it where your dreams begin, and let scent do what words cannot. Remind the air that it, too, holds intention. Wood mala, the silent beads that guard the breath. Some objects don't speak, they don't glow, they don't even move, but they hold something ancient, like breath paused between thoughts. For Mrs. Lee, it began with a single strand, a set of wooden prayer beads passed down from her grandmother, carved from fragrant sandalwood, faintly warm to the touch even after years in a silk pouch. I used to keep them in a drawer, tucked away like an old letter, until one night, I couldn't fall asleep. The noise in my head just wouldn't stop. She remembered the beads, took them out, held them without even counting, just feeling the grain of the wood. Bead by bead, like running her fingers down a stream of calm. Prayer beads, in their true purpose, are not religious decor. They are tools of stillness. In Feng Shui, a mala made from sacred wood carries two powerful frequencies: the grounding vitality of the wood element, and the protective clarity of metal. Wood, for growth, faith, and life force. Metal, for precision, focus, and energetic protection. When crafted from high-resonance materials, like agarwood, sandalwood, or cedar, these beads do more than calm the mind. They stabilize the room. Place them on a small wooden dish, on your nightstand, or hang them with care above a quiet altar. Not thrown, not tangled, respected, because beads hold memory, and when treated with reverence, they become vessels of breath. I started holding the mala before bed, not to pray, not to chant, just to breathe, and remember that not every thought needs to be followed. One night, after a long, disappointing conversation with a family member, she couldn't stop replaying their words. It felt sharp, unfinished. But she didn't speak, she didn't write, she picked up the mala, and without meaning to, began moving one bead at a time between her fingers. Not saying anything, just exhaling, longer than before. By the time she reached the final bead, the sharpness inside had softened, and her heart, though still tender, felt protected, wrapped, heard. This is the power of prayer beads in the bedroom. Not to ask for something, but to remember, you already carry stillness. Sometimes you just need to touch it again. Energetically speaking, wood beads absorb and regulate emotional energy. They are natural filters of spiritual tension. When placed near the bed, especially the right side, associated with action and protection, they create a subtle shield around the spirit during sleep. Think of it as a boundary, not against people, but against thoughts that try to follow you into the night. Tips for use: choose genuine wood, sandalwood, agarwood, cedar, or green sandal. Avoid plastic or dyed imitation beads. Clean them regularly, not with water, but with soft cloth and intention. Don't wear them to bed. Let them rest while you rest. And when you forget, when your breath is shallow, when your chest feels tight, let your fingers find them. No words needed, no mantra necessary, just presence, and the quiet rhythm of wood remembering who you are. These beads, they don't fix anything, but they remind me to stop trying to fix everything before sleep. And sometimes, that's enough. Maybe the real shift wasn't in the lamp, or the crystal, or the quiet scent beneath your pillow. Maybe it began the moment you paused, not just to decorate your space, but to listen to it. In Feng Shui, the outer is always a mirror of the inner. So each item you place with care is not just furniture. It's a whisper from your future self. If something in you feels quieter now, or more awake, perhaps that's the bedroom beginning to breathe with you. Leave a comment, not just to speak, but to mark this moment of awareness. Your story may be the very light someone else is waiting for. The path has opened. The next step is yours.